Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining on a very short notice. I'm very pleased to see such a very healthy attendance today. Douglas County Democrats have a very rare, fortunate event happening here. We have two great candidates running for chair for the 2025 reorg. We have Meg Furlow and Miles Foster. Both of them are from HD 43 in Highlands Ranch area. And both of them are POs right now. And Miles is the chair of HD 43. And Meg has worked on a number of campaigns this past season. So both of them are quite familiar to all of you. We also have Tim Corrington, who will be timing our speakers. The amazing Elaine Flournoy here, who put together this forum on a 5-minute notice. Thank you, Elaine. And last but not least, we have Barrett Roth, our former first vice chair candidate and an amazing Democrat from HD 39 now. And so thank you, Barrett, for agreeing to host and coming up with all the questions and all of that. So thank you. And without further ado, let's get started.
Yeah, sure. So can I take the floor? Are we ready? Good deal. All right, so I'm Barrett Roth. As you heard, I'll be your moderator tonight. I live in Castle Pines, and I had the privilege of serving as vice chair of the party from 2021 to 2023. I've served with 4 county chairs in my time in Douglas County. I've got to see it done by a variety of different people in different circumstances. I'm happy that they asked me to host, but I have not endorsed either candidate. And as you heard, I wrote the questions that we'll be going through tonight. I did want to give you a quick pep talk, if you don't mind, and just tell you about what's ahead and what's behind us and some of the accomplishments we've had. So in 2022, I want to point out Jared Polis came within a point of winning Douglas County, and that was the same year that Bob Marshall flipped HD 43. And in 2024, Trish Calderese came within a point of Lauren Boebert in Douglas County, and Bob expanded his margin of victory to a healthy 2.5-point margin. We've had a lot of progress and momentum in the right direction in the last couple of years. And then looking ahead, we have in 2025, the school board election and city council races throughout the county. So a lot of opportunities for nonpartisan seats. I'm sure many of you here have already started to think about school board and how to help with that race. All of this is going to be happening as Democrats look to win back majorities in Congress and face down a second Trump administration. This chair will serve through the 2026 midterms, where all of our state house seats will be up for election, SB 30 will be up for election, and all of our statewide offices will be up for election again. And in recent weeks, I don't know if you've been watching the news, but the Democratic Party has been struggling to find its voice in the field. So this is the environment that the county party chair for Douglas County is jumping into. And with that, I am excited to jump in and hear from both of them. We did a coin toss just before everybody came in, and by virtue of that coin toss, Meg will get the first opening statement. So Meg, we'll turn the floor over to you and start the time.
Just a second, Barrett, can you speak a little bit louder?
Oh, sorry, did none of that come through?
Yeah, it did, but you were a little bit quieter. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, by virtue of a coin toss, Meg gets the first opening statement, so we'll turn the floor over to Meg.
And Barrett, this is Tim Corrington. Confirm again how much time is each candidate allowed?
Yeah, so the opening statements will be 2 minutes. Did I have that right, Elaine? Yep, 2 minutes for opening statements, and then we're going to do, let me pull up the rules, sorry. Then we're going to do 2 minutes to answer each question.
2 minutes for each question, and then at the end, each will have 2 minutes for a closing statement.
Cool.
Okay, well, are we ready?
Go, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Barrett. Good evening. Thanks you for having me. My screen says Margaret Furlow, but my name is Meg, or I go by Meg, and I'm running for chair of this party because I'm deeply passionate about local politics. And I firmly believe that with the right leadership, we can create real positive change in this community. As a former employee of Tri-County Health Department, I've seen firsthand how decisions made by local leaders impact our daily lives. Since moving here in 2021, I've thrown myself into advocating for equity and good governance in our schools, fighting against book bans, and organizing countywide school board races, and local House district races. As a member of the LGBTQ community, a mother, and a woman, I have a personal stake in this fight. I refuse to sit idly by while our rights are under threat. Our party is at a pivotal moment. We've seen a significant decrease in support from key demographics, young people, working class, and minorities. It's time to have some difficult, honest conversations about why this is happening. We need to rebuild trust and create a party that people don't just settle for as the lesser of two evils, but one they can truly believe in. My goal as chair is to focus on local progress. When we build grassroots momentum at the bottom of the ballot, it drives success up the ticket, such as in CD4 or at the state level. I'm committed to building strong, authentic coalitions through relationship building and making this party more accessible to young people and working class voters. Another priority is improving communication and messaging. Too often we find ourselves on the defensive. Without clear, consistent messaging, people don't know what we stand for or how to get involved. We need to change that. I look forward to answering your questions tonight and providing a clear picture of how I plan to lead. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And then we'll go to Miles for your opening statement.
All right. So I am Miles Foster. On my party registration, you'll see me as Ernest Foster by my first name. I've been a member of I've been a member of the Democratic Party for quite a while. I've been active in Colorado Democratic Party since 2016. In 2016, I was elected as a delegate to both district and state assemblies and served in that capacity at the assemblies in both of those years, learning quite a bit about how the party operates. Following the assemblies, I became an active PO in 2018 and have continued to act in the capacity of PO since that time. I've also been a member of the DCDP Audit Committee in 2021 and 2023. I chaired the Audit Committee. I also been a active member of the Finance Committee, currently on the Executive Committee, also on the Rules Committee. In July last year, I stepped up when the chair position, HD 43, became vacant and have led HD 43 since that time. During my time as PO, I've worked on in that capacity on multiple campaigns, including Bob Marshall's campaign in 2022 and 2024, and worked closely with Paula Smith and Brad, Susan, and Valerie for the last school board election in 2023. I am a proud member of the Douglas County Democratic Party. My background, my history, and my family drive why I want to be the chair for Douglas County. It is extremely important to me that we have strong leadership in Douglas County and that we are addressing the concerns of the community.
All right, all right, that was time. So I'm going to jump in and keep track of time so we keep moving forward. Just so
and Miles' cameras looks like it's frozen, so maybe that's why he didn't see Tim.
That seems like it could be part of it. Miles, your camera did freeze. While we wait for Miles, how's my sound now? Are we doing better on sound?
You're doing good. You're doing
I've
good.
never had any of you ask me to speak louder, so that was weird to get it from 3 of you. All right, so Miles, can you tell me if you can hear us, see us?
I'm going to text him.
Off to a strong start. Why don't we give him a second to log back in? But I'd like to pause for a second, because the way the order was supposed to proceed, Miles would get first question, and then Meg would get first shot at second question. So
I'll try calling him. I texted him. I'll try calling.
Okay. I can repeat my opening speech if we want.
Well, I'm sure you've got some great jokes. Come on.
I haven't seen any of you in a while, so I don't have any jokes off the top of my head. But really, I was saying, I think that the county party chair is entering into an exciting but interesting time over the next couple of years. Got a lot of opportunity and a lot of challenges, both at the county up to the national level.
Well, Barrett, I appreciate you doing this. And by the way, you look great. I haven't.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think
that
that's because Zoom is touching up my appearance, Tim. But I have started eye moisturizer.
Oh, that's great.
That's where I'm at in life.
I'll avoid trying to do any commercials or promotions.
Promos, yeah.
I talked to
I do appreciate you doing this because you do a great job.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, Tim. Thank you.
So I just talked to Miles. He's in the process of rebooting his computer.
Okay.
And he did.
Well, this is a good time to tell you about two things. One, register for reorg if you haven't already. You can pre-buy lunch. I don't know if that's still an option. I think you can still do that. And then if anybody wants to plug DC parents info into the chat, I don't know if that's germane or kosher for this environment, but just a reminder, school board's coming up. Faster than we will believe, I'm sure. But we'll I realize this is kind of a stunted beginning, but give Miles kind of the courtesy of giving him a minute to get back in and we'll get going.
Everybody, hello. I'm just going to put a plug in for reorg for Saturday. If you haven't registered, go on and get registered. If you need to assign, if you're eligible to vote for either of these candidates or down the ballot, please let us know. We can assign a proxy for you. See you Saturday in person.
Exactly, that'll be good. Excited for the in person.
And also, you know, we can always take donations. The QR code is in the chat. And we're going to be posting this recording of this forum tomorrow on our YouTube channel, and the link is in the chat. We've also got a survey that we'd like you to fill out after you watch this forum, and we would appreciate your feedback. Thank you. And I think Miles is still working it, and he did ask me to wait for him and his shot at the question.
Bob, I hate to put you on the spot. Do you have a capital update for us?
Yeah, I guess I could throw something out there real quick.
Let's do it.
Trying to triple task here. So good governance is never popular, and we're being swarmed on the bills we brought forward. If you're curious about what I'm doing, the teacher tax credit got out once again, but will probably die in appropriations. The transparency bill I was running got killed in appropriations. The Mini Hatch Act bill, which all it says is law enforcement shall not engage in partisan political activity while in uniform or using government property. That's looking very, very weak because Sheriff Brown in Arapahoe County, the Democratic sheriffs hate it as much as the GOP sheriffs, and they are putting intense pressure on their legislators to kill it. Again, anyone outside that bubble or outside the political groups that hear that, most of the constituents at the town halls ask me, that's really legal now? And I'm like, yes, and they abuse it. If you all remember Sheriff Weekly up at the Trump rally in Aurora in full uniforms going off in front of the signs that said deport all illegals and attacking Democrats and leftists for allowing the invasion of our country. And then the county commissioner bill, all the county commissioners, Democratic and Republican that would be impacted are swarming as much as they could, but this time we have a lot of grassroots support. So I'm a little more hopeful we might get it into the Senate and let it die there, but that's one more step forward. Hopefully we can, like I said, you keep bashing your head against the wall and eventually it might get through. I I had just as an aside, there was one commissioner who contacted me and said, "You've run this twice before. It's been killed every time. The counties don't want it. Why are you trying again?" And my response was, John Stuart Mill introduced universal women's suffrage in Parliament in 1867, and it died 190 to 72. And he introduced it every year for the rest of his life. And he was right the first time, the second time, the third time. So just because it fails doesn't mean you can't keep bringing it back. The jury duty exemption one is also in
Excuse me,
trouble.
I'm
I
sorry,
think-
I'm sorry, Bob. Sorry, we got
Yeah.
Miles back, so.
We got
thank-
Miles back?
We got Miles back and he's ready.
Ah.
Sorry, Representative Marshall. We're
You
never
got
gonna-
Bob, sorry.
We need help.
Thank you for indulging my
to
stretch.
contact representatives down there and let them know, especially if you can contact people in the other counties to get on their legislators, because when they hear from constituents rather than the commissioners and the sheriffs, they might move. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thanks for helping us fill the time. As many of you know, I have never tried to make a Douglas County Democrats meeting go longer, so that wasn't a muscle that I have stretched. Miles, we have, I think we're done with statements. We are first, excuse me, I'm sorry, let me get my bearings here. We're moving on to first question, and you start, Miles. The first question I have for you is, what do you see as the greatest challenge for the county party in 2025 through 2026, and how do you plan to address it?
Hey, our greatest challenge will be PAC money coming into the county, supporting not only the school board races for the GOP for this cycle, but also in 26, we'll see the same up and down the ballot, supporting GOP candidates. The GOP has deep pockets, and fundraising is going to be critical, both for the campaigns and for the county party. We need to be prepared for what we should expect based on past performance. So fundraising will be a key component of what I plan to do as chair. Along with being very transparent in how we're spending our funds, what we're spending our funds on, and making sure that we are, those funds go to support our campaigns, and that we are electing candidates in every seat possible in the county.
Very nice. So Meg, same question to you. What do you see as the greatest challenge for the county party in 2025 through 2026, and how do you plan to address it?
Thanks, Barrett. Yes, 2025, our biggest challenge is going to be school board. Thankfully, our own Susan Meek was able to address the campaign finance issues with the school board campaign that happened in 2021. So there are limits now. I saw somebody post about Douglas County parents in the chat. So utilizing that small donor committee to benefit our school board candidates will be very helpful. But overall, for our party, I think it's going to be uniting. Like I said in my opening statement, we are losing young people. We are losing working people. We need to unite, and that comes through a strong message. Anytime you're in community with people, there's going to be conflict, there's going to be disagreements. And I think it's crucial for our local party all the way up to the national level to have hard conversations that we have not been having. People have been feeling silenced, and that only creates division and infighting. So there's a way we can have these hard conversations with respect. And the more we work through these issues, the more we will actually be united and have each other's backs, instead of having this facade that we are united that could crack at any moment. And I hope in utilizing my current relationships I have with a variety of different groups, we can work towards uniting our local county party. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the next question, and this time, Meg, you'll answer first. So the question is, working together as volunteers in a political climate can often lead to interpersonal conflict. What do you see as the role of chair in managing the people involved in the county party, and how would you approach conflict management if elected?
Thanks. So yeah, that ties into my last answer about uniting the party. And working on the school board campaign, I worked with volunteers who were unaffiliated, Republican, Democrat, but had different beliefs than me. And so I am able to work with all beliefs and backgrounds. And again, it's critical that the chair of the party listens to people's concerns, criticisms, and doesn't just shut them down, but addresses them so that people feel heard and that it doesn't create worse issues or animosity. So the role as chair would be to listen to all sides and make sure people are actually having their conversations and together over the phone or in public and not just on the keyboard. So as a chair, I would encourage people to address their issues with other members who have disagreements to that person directly instead of talking behind people's back and moving forward that way. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Miles, same question for you. Working together as volunteers in a political climate can lead to interpersonal conflict. What do you see as the role of chair in managing people involved in the county party, and how would you approach conflict management if elected?
Barrett, if we put 10 people in a room, we're going to have 10 people with somewhat diverse perspectives on things. Everyone is a product of their own experiences. Within the party, as Meg rightly stated, we've seen diversity, we've seen infighting, and that just can't continue. As chair, I will address those issues directly. If people have a issue with someone else in the party, if they have an issue with me personally, I encourage you to step forward and let's have a conversation. As we should, as Democrats, we should be able to talk to each other. We are the public face, and posting in social media negative things about the party do not help us win elections and potentially drive away volunteers that we are trying to bring into the organization to help us to campaign for our candidates and to spread the Democratic message.
Great, thank you. All right, Miles, you'll be the first for the next question. So you're up again. What do you see as the role of the county party in relation to organizing, activism, and resistance at the county, state, or national levels?
So the county party must be involved in organizing and resisting. What we know is before us, Project 2025, what we've already seen in just a few short weeks of the new Trump administration, we are faced with a situation that, none of us have really seen in our lifetime. And we know, just this week, tomorrow, there is a demonstration downtown. What's happening in Aurora could easily spill over into Douglas County. So we must be involved. We must be the public face. We must be out in the community more often. I look to develop more opportunities for us to be seen and to be heard, so that independent voters and disenfranchised Republicans know that we're not the enemy, that we're out here trying to support the community, and with their help, we can hold back some of the ultra-right agenda.
Great, thank you. Meg, same question for you. What do you see as the role of the county party in relation to organizing, activism, and resistance at the county, state, and national level?
Yeah, so I definitely think we need to be having Democrats in spaces all over the county, like our county commissioner meetings, attending our Board of Health meetings, attending our Metro District meetings. We need to be seen in all these spaces so that these decision makers know we are watching and we will stand up for what we think is right. We also have a lot of groups doing already great activism in our county. We have Just Say No to Extremism, the Douglas County Collective, Douglas County Parents. So we need to partner with these groups that already have momentum in activism and include ourselves with these groups so that we can call out our elected officials.
Great, thank you. All right, next question, Meg, you'll start. The question is, how do you think the Democratic Party can rebuild after the 2024 election to earn majorities in the US House and Senate? And how should the entire Democratic Party move forward during the second Trump administration and into the midterms?
Yes, so that is a big question. And I think the party is still grappling with how to handle that. What we can do as a county party is focus local, have grassroots organization for our down ballot races, our House district races, and then we will see that translate up to CD4. We had significant progress in CD4 and with the presidential election votes in this county. If we worked harder down at the bottom of the ballot, I feel like we would see even more success for CD4. So yeah, I mean, I think that is a big question. It's going to take the national party working on their messaging and having that filter down to the state and local to really see where we go from here and win back majorities in 2026.
Good. Miles, same question to you. How do you think the Democratic Party can rebuild after the 2024 election to earn majorities in the House and Senate? And how should the entire Democratic Party move forward during the second Trump administration into the midterms?
Thank you, Barrett. So the feedback from the 2024 election is simply this. The messaging of the Democratic Party did not reach the general public. It was what we were messaging on did not address the general public's primary concerns, which were economy and the border. We must address the public concerns in our messaging. We must engage with the public. They are the voters. In Douglas County, 40% of our voters are unaffiliated. The unaffiliated voters in Douglas County swing our elections. We must reach them. We must speak with them on issues that they are personally concerned about. Our messaging has to be on target in order to win 2026 elections, 2025 school board elections. And we must move forward with that engagement with the community.
Great. All right, Miles, you'll start our next question. There has been a fair amount of turnover in the DCDP executive officer ranks in the last 6 years. How would you help retain and motivate party officers to achieve results?
Thank you, Barrett. So this is actually a key component of my plan for the party in Douglas County moving forward. We have a lot of knowledge and experience within our community, our Douglas County Democratic community. We need to leverage that knowledge. We need to be more than just a handful of individuals that carry the party forward. We need to build teams around our officers to help them with their task. For training of our POs, for event organization, for messaging, specifically better use of our tools and better teams to use those tools for messaging. So expand on our use of Wix, expand on our use of all Facebook and all our social media. Expand on the use of our website so that we and do this as a team effort, not as individuals.
Great, thank you. Meg, same question to you. There's been a fair amount of turnover in the county party executive officer ranks in the last 6 years. How would you help retain and motivate party officers to achieve results?
Yeah, so this is something I'm pretty passionate about because these are all volunteer roles. And I feel like we have the habit in this party of burning out our volunteers. When we see somebody's a great volunteer, we just continue to pile more and more on them. And because of this, that is why the party is inaccessible to working families. We don't have a lot of parents with young children involved. We need to change our operational structure so that our volunteers feel more supported. There are several committees that we need to be utilizing to support leadership more, and spreading out the work. Many hands makes for small work. So I would like to look at how the party structure operates, find more efficient ways that don't put such a heavy burden on the leadership team, and then welcoming new voices to leadership and not burning out all our volunteers.
Good, thanks. Hold on, sorry. All right. Well, next question. Meg, we'll start with you. Where do you see the greatest opportunities for the DCDP to have a positive impact?
Yeah, so I think in 2025, our best area of impact is school board. School board is nonpartisan and it's already a well-organized campaign that has won 3 of the last 4 elections, with COVID being an outlier. And I feel like the party's role with school board will be to get our people to turn out to vote, and then also assist the campaign with volunteers or as they want the party to assist. In 2026, I would like to be strategic. Looking at the data, we need to work on retaining HD43. And then our next area that could potentially flip is SD30. So I think building structure around SD30 and prioritizing those 2 races will help us lead in our areas that the party should focus on. And with Kathy Lee's running to chair SD30, I think we are setting ourselves up to do well in those areas.
Okay. Thank you. Miles, same question for you. Where do you see the greatest opportunities for the county party to have a positive impact?
So, Barrett, thank you. I see the greatest opportunity is in community engagement. Engaging with the community, again, getting out in front of the community, let them see that we are partners with the community. In my plans for the community, I'm looking for a 5-year plan where we target every election up and down the ballot. We build our bench of possible candidates so that we have good, viable candidates for every race, and that we're transparent with our candidates so they understand, when they put their name forward, what they should expect both from the party and what the party will expect of them. As far as impact, the community engagement is really key. We need to turn more voters, more independent voters, more unaffiliated voters, and even the disenfranchised Republicans. I'll take every vote. Every vote matters.
Great. All right, we're going to move to closing statements. One sec. Sorry, hold on. Why don't we have, I think in correct order, we should have Miles do first closing statement. Does that feel right? All right, Miles, you're up for first closing statement. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Barrett. So the next 5 years, or excuse me, the next 2 years will be critically important to the party. We must win CD4. What happens in at the federal level ends up right here in Douglas County. At the same time, we must have more viable candidates in up and down the ballot. We have Metro District board elections coming up. We have Water District board elections coming up. We have the school board elections coming up. And then in 26, we have a whole slate of elections. We have to be ready for each and every one of these elections. We must have viable candidates in each and every one of these elections. And we must be engaged with the community, speaking to their concerns in order to win their votes.
Thank you. Meg, closing statement from you. 2 minutes.
Thanks. First, I want to extend my appreciation to Elaine for coordinating this and Barrett for moderating. As we find ourselves in a second Trump presidency, the party faces a choice. Do we continue with the status quo, or do we choose change and make way for a new generation of leadership? We need everyone in this fight. We need to be agile, innovative, and forward-thinking. I hope this forum has provided a clear picture of some of the things I would like to do as chair of the county party. My priorities are focused on making a difference at the local level, particularly by shifting the needle in our down ballot races and strategically flipping seats as our demographics change. We must also work to grow our base, not just by recruiting precinct organizers, but by reaching out to unaffiliated voters and disenfranchised Democrats, something that I'm already doing. I will also partner with groups within our county, our young people who are already doing important work to help build momentum. Finally, I will revamp our communication strategy and messaging, strengthening our ability to unite and build coalition. My experience coordinating volunteers, leading campaigns, heading both grassroots and professional teams has equipped me with the skills necessary to do this. I'm honored to receive endorsements from many respected leaders in our community, including elected officials like School Board Director Brad Geiger, RTD Board Chair Julian Bouquet, Democrat leaders such as former Chair Angela Thomas, Aidan Susser of the Young Democrats, leadership in HD 43 and 45. These individuals know that not only do I show up, but I get the work done. I hope you will join me in building this party. We have work to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I also want to extend thanks to Elaine and Indira for getting this together. I know I always get scared when I see Elaine is calling me, and this time was no different. And it was great to work with you for a couple of days to do this. But I would just want to say, for the record, for everybody, I think it's nice for having a competitive chair election. I realize that can feel a little uncomfortable. We haven't had one before, but that's a sign that we have a lot of great work to do. We have a lot of passionate people, and we're looking for good leadership. With that, I will turn it over to Indira to close us out.
Okay, let me unpin a bunch of people. So, well, thank you, Barrett, for, where am I? I'm trying to. Thank you, Barrett, for conducting this forum. The questions were very thoughtful, and I can see all of them coming from your time at the Douglas County Democrats. And so they're still very much relevant even today. And thank you to both the candidates for participating in this. All of this was done literally a week ago, and it all started with the candidates agreeing, and then we reached out to you, and that's how it all went. And I'm very grateful that we're able to organize this, considering all of us have very tight travel schedules, and some of us officers are not even in the state. So Thank you, Elaine, again for organizing and putting this together. And thank you, Tim, for timing the candidates. Well, I'll give back the 15 minutes back to the community. Thank you, Joy. Thank you guys for joining on a short notice again. This was a very successful and wonderful candidate forum. Please come to reorg and bring your phones. Is Stacy Arambula on the phone? Sorry, on the call. Would you like to say a little bit about how the voting works really quick? And Stacy?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the voting for reorg will be done through a Google form, and the Google form has been customized to intake a email and voter code that will be distributed at registration time. And normally when there's a Google form and you want to limit the number of votes somebody has, you actually have to have a Gmail account. We've been able to work around that and through the use of the voter code. So we will at reorg have a sample form that people can use to test out their email and voter code combination prior to, the more important votes, such as the chair. So make sure to bring a smartphone or tablet. You could bring a laptop too, that's fine. Anything that you can vote online with.
Or scan a QR code with, right?
Yes, well, we'll also have the link to the form too if they need it.
Okay.
So
All right.
if they want to bring a laptop, that's fine.
Sounds good.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
We're going to be sending out a survey form for this forum, which will really help us in preparing and having more of these types of things. And your feedback really will help us. So look for that tomorrow. Thank you. It's a Google form.
Thank you. And one last thing, there's many people who are asking me, I'm not a voting member. Why should I come to reorg? You should run for a position or two. There's a number of positions, particularly there's a total of 66 various bonus positions that all of you can be part of. CD4 and JD23 and the State Central Committee, we have the State Central Committee is pretty full, but CD4 and JD23 does not have representation. If we don't elect those 22 seats per district now as bonus members, we will lose them forever. You can sign up now, and if you don't feel like it, you can resign, and the new chair of Douglas County Democrats gets to appoint them. So, and so please make sure to come sign up and make sure that Douglas County has a seat at the table on some of the most important elections in the state. So these become very, very important because even the statewide races, how we endorse, all of those things play a big role. So let's not forfeit our presence in these committees. You don't have to be a voting member. You have to be a Democrat. Come and run for this positions, and they will cost you maybe 5 hours max per year, and if that. So anyway, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Barrett.
Thank you.
Barrett. Thank you,
Thank
Miles.
you,
Thank you,
guys.
Meg. Thanks, India.
Thanks,
you.
Barrett. It's so good to see you. We
Good
have
to
to have
see
coffee
you.
one
Glad it's
day.
not us.
Yeah, glad it's not me.
Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you. Okay, checking off.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording or